Today I will show you how to change back fender on the Ninebot Max G30. So my fender cracked over here when it was crushed by the elevator door. So I bought two fenders from Segway here in Europe, from Segway Austria. So let me show you what's in the two boxes. These are the serial numbers. That's one of them. That's the second one. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside the box that Segway sends you, and this is the spare fender. This is the same as the original one, as you can see here. So it's identical. It's the full fender assembly with the light and everything, so you should just be able to connect it. And the second one, I ordered is the newer version from the Segway Max version 2 here in Europe. Not sure if it's also sold in other parts of the world. It has a bigger light and a license plate area, and here you can see them side by side. So when I asked Segway Austria whether the newer version of the fender is compatible with my older scooter, they said that it's not. So I went ahead and ordered both of them to be able to tell for myself whether they are, the connection is identical and the mounting points also look identical. So I'm pretty sure the new version is compatible with the older Ninebot Max, but I guess we will see in a moment. And apart from the light, when you put the fenders on their side, you can also see there is a slight difference in the profile of the fender. The new version is a bit thicker down here, which maybe prevents possible cracks as happened on the existing fender. So this is just a quick comparison. And for reference, let me show you the serial numbers again. This is the original old style fender, and this is the box from the new style fender. From the bottom you can see slight differences in the two fenders. This is the newer version, so you can see the reinforcement is ended a bit early, and then there is a big bulge for the bigger light. You can see the cable sticking out a bit there, but otherwise all the mounting points and also the cable connector looks identical on both fenders. Okay, so now I'm just gonna clean the area a bit, and then we will get started on the replacement process. Okay, so I have a hairdryer here, and I will try to warm up these two parts of the rubber mat. Okay, let's try and see if it will come off. Okay, it's nicely peeling off now without damaging the glue. Okay, now let's warm up the rest of it. Okay, let's give it a try. So we have this part, and now I will slowly try to peel the other side. Okay, it's coming off nicely. And we can now slowly see all the screws. Okay. So now we have it peeled back, all the glue is intact. So now we need to remove these 4 screws, and I will try to figure something out to hold this in place while we work. Okay, so I just used 2 pieces of double-sided tape to hopefully hold this in place while I work on this. So let's take a closer look. So as you can see, the rubber deck peeled off nicely. Now we have access to the 4 fender screws, and now I will take those off, and hopefully the fenders should just come out, and then we can slot in the new replacement fender. We are going to be using a number 3 Allen head screwdriver bit that fits in these screws. First, let's try to loosen all of them a bit and then take them out. So as you can see, it's held in place by these screws. There is some blue Loctite on them, so I will apply some when I'm putting them back in. There is a small washer on the screws as well. Okay, now that the screws are removed, let's try to take off the fender. It seems to be holding by the cable, so we need to be careful not to rip it off. I will take a look from the bottom of it. Is that coming down from the fender? Okay, so I switched to a higher platform so I could get a better look from the bottom. As you can see here, the fender is held in place by the cable, and there is quite a lot of dirt caked on there. So looking at it from the bottom, you can see the cable and everything is covered in dirt, so I will try to clean it up a bit, and so we can get a better look at the connector. You can just barely make it out among all the dirt there, so let's try to clean it up first. Okay, so let me try and show you the progress. I have tried to clean it up a bit. There was a ton of dirt on the connector, and now you can just about see the connector sticking out of the dirt, and I'm guessing you need to push the 2 tabs on the side so you can remove the fender. I'm probably not gonna be able to film it how I am doing it because it's from the underside and I have no way to hold the camera there while I'm removing it, so I will try to remove the connector and then show you how it went. Okay, so after finding the connector under all the mud and dirt that was on it, you can see it from the top here. It was just a matter of pushing the 2 side tabs on the connector cable, and then the fender pad just came out. So you can see how much mud and dirt is on the fender. So the fender was still holding together because of this black piece that is covering the cable, and that's probably why it didn't snap all the way through. So now that I removed the old fender, I'm going to clean everything up the best I can, and then we will put on the new fender. And as I took off the fender, I also noticed there is some sort of a metal blade stuck in the back tire. Hold on, let me try to get it out on the video. Okay, well, that's not good. Let me get some pliers. Okay, so let's try to remove the metal piece from the tire. Damn. Okay, so it's not sure what it is, but it's a sharp metal piece, and there is no air escaping, so the Segway slime works really well. Let's see, well, that made quite a gash in the tire here, but it's holding air, so that's good. Okay, so let's continue with the fender replacement now. I'm gonna clean the area as I mentioned, and we will put on the new fender. Okay, so I cleaned everything up the best I could. We have the connector here. You should be careful when handling it because the wires are very fragile. And here you can see, so this is the old style original fender. So when I put it on, you can see the holes line up, but it's still not 100% fit. And with the new style fender with the bigger light, when I put it on, there is a slightly bigger gap on the left, but all the holes seem to line up, so that probably shouldn't matter. And it's also gonna be hidden by the rubber mat, so you won't actually see the gap, but it seems to fit in place. So I will try to use the one with the bigger light. The connectors are the same, so let's see how that goes. Let me put you on a tripod and let's try to put on the new fender. Okay, so let's carefully grab the connector from the bottom and push it into the fender. Looks like it's connected. Let me just check. So from this angle you can see that the two side clips need to clip into the connector from the fender. They look like they clipped in place. So now before attaching the fender, let's try to turn on the scooter and see if the light works. Okay, let me turn on. Okay, so the light works. Let me try the brake. The brake works. So it looks like the new style fender with the bigger light works even on the old Ninebot Max, the original one from 2020. And the light is quite a bit brighter. I will include a video here where I will go outside in the evening and compare the two lights, because I have another Ninebot Max that still has the original Fender, so we will be able to compare them directly and see how much of a difference it makes, so you can decide for yourself whether it's worth replacing the original Fender with this newer one. Okay, let me put you on the tripod and let's put back the screws and attach the Fender. Okay, so let's put back the screws. I have some blue Loctite that I will be applying to the screws so they hold in place once they are back. I'm not going all the way, just a little bit until I put back the screws. So as you can see, all the 4 screws fit in place of the existing holes and the Fender is holding in place. Let's turn it on one last time before we stick the mat back on to verify that it's working. Everything seems to be working, so now I will just take some isopropyl alcohol and wipe the surface down where I'm gonna stick the mat, so it's free from any oils or dust. Okay, now let's leave it for a second to evaporate, and then we will carefully stick the rubber mat back on. Okay, so now let's slowly put the rubber mat back in place. So remove the double-sided tape. So now I will take the hairdryer again and heat up this area so the double-sided tape softens up and better adheres back to the scooter surface. Okay, now it's nice and warm. You can push it down a bit so it better adheres back. So that is it for the replacement of the back fender on the Ninebot Max G30. So I will next test out the lights, comparing the new style light to the old style light. That will probably be in the next video, depending on when I have time to film it. So check that out, it will be linked down in the description once it's published on my channel. And let me know what other videos you would like to see next. And if you have any questions about the whole process of replacing the back fender on the Ninebot Max, leave me a comment and I will try to answer any of your questions. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.